Well, good evening and welcome to the 7 o'clock talk. I am checking to see if we have gone live on Instagram. And there we go. So tonight we're going to talk about just the stuff we've been doing because spring and summer's here and it's the time to get outside. This is when genetically we start to stimulate those pathways that help us slim down. You know, the days are longer. It just allows the body to do more. And so I guess one of the things to do is talk about circadian rhythm, but somebody got a new tractor and she has been outside digging in the dirt, playing for hours on end. What are you thinking of the tractor?
I like her. I named her Lucy.
And so
she lets me dig in the dirt when I can't dig in the dirt.
Yeah, you're 3 weeks out. They say, what, 6 weeks out and you can do stuff?
Yeah, I've done stuff, but I'm not supposed to.
But the good thing is she keeps getting good results from the doctors.
Good reports. I haven't seen the surgeon back yet, but everybody else is pretty pleased, I guess.
And so,
surprised might be a better word.
Yeah, they act more surprised. And once again, that's just a testament to the way that she lives life. And that's the thing that, we talk about with our functional medicine patients is, do you want to live a life that matters, a life with purpose? Because that is the foundation to that, is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, being able to dream up the things that you want to do. And it's really not hard. I guess we could say, it says miscellaneous stuff, but it's really not hard. Nobody has, the good thing is the body's very forgiving. You don't have to be perfect at life to thrive, because we're definitely not perfect.
No, but I try to thrive.
Well, I wouldn't say we're trying. I'd say we're actually doing. I mean, at 50 years old, you're out there farming and grading driveways and doing everything that she wants to do. I'm 53 and
3 weeks out from back surgery.
3 weeks out from back surgery. I'm 53 and I am out shoveling and riding bikes still. I'm getting my pilot's license. And so those things that you want to do, we don't suffer from brain fog. We don't suffer from...
I do a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm way better.
Yeah. Well, but you're not forgetting. You don't go through a door and forget what you're there for. And
well, sometimes I do, but I always remember when I walk back through the door what I'm going back for.
And so those are the things that you really got to take care of. You have to, we call it the 5 pillars to health. And once again, in order: sleep, nutrition, movement, stress, and community. And dealing with those things allows you to thrive in every way. And it's not normal to have diarrhea. It's not normal to be constipated. It's not normal to forget everything that you want to talk about. Those things aren't normal. And if they're happening to you, you need to figure out why. You don't have to come to us. Just go look for a functional medicine doctor. If you have chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure, what are the other big ones that we see? PCOS.
We see that in our young people a lot. Diabetes, acid reflux, irritable bowel.
These are all lifestyle diseases, and they're things that you can start to do little changes and you're doing great. I mean, the typical person that comes to see us is already doing things. It doesn't require this mass shift usually, does it? I mean, you do most of the coaching with people.
So I don't know. So either I don't feel like there's anybody in the middle. They're either doing a whole lot or they're doing nothing. And we usually figure that out with the elimination diet because they either want to cry immediately or they've got that. But there's usually not a they're usually on one side or the other. Only because most everybody has already been through provider after provider and they either aren't getting the answers, don't want to take medications, or just feel unheard. So that's probably the common ground that everybody that finds us. But everybody always thinks they eat well, but eating well and eating good are two different things. And we usually tease that out with the elimination diet.
And so it's real simple. I mean, it's not complex. It's not even really complicated. It does take time. The body has to heal. But the quicker that you get on looking at these things, the quicker that you get to feel like you want to do the things you want to do. And if you're out of energy, if you're sick all the time, recurrently sick, if you have chronic pain, these are the things that suck the ever-loving life out of you.
Well, and a lot of times you don't even know how bad you feel until you feel better.
Yeah, we hear that all the time.
Well, and I thought I felt pretty good, but didn't realize how much pain I was actually in until they got rid of some things. So, like, I don't think people really feel. I don't think people legitimately know how they actually feel.
Well, a fish does not know it's in water until it's out.
I don't think they know what it feels like to feel good.
Yeah.
A lot of times until they do.
Yeah.
And because they're always surprised that they actually feel good.
And so this is the thing. If you want to thrive, if you want to feel good, if you want to get up with energy, all of these things you can do. I can tell you right now, I haven't seen it done with testosterone replacement. I haven't seen it done with taking medications. We get the people that those things have failed. And that's who we deal with all the time, all day, every day. And don't get me wrong, we love it because we love helping. But the first step has to be taken by you. And then just know that we have to do some experimentation. Part of that is figuring out, are you sensitive to stuff? And we do testing in the beginning, but we're not real big on, do you have food sensitivity testing? And do you have this? And let's test that. And let's do this. We start very simple with foundational things, and we start to build up good habits. And then we build upon those good habits. And then eventually, you're addressing different things. I just took my third or fourth, I forget how many I've had now, GI map. And I'm like looking at, okay, how can I tweak things? Where can I make myself feel even better? Because, at 53, I get up at 5:45 in the morning. I go work out. I go to work. At lunchtime, I'm generally doing an hour on the bike now. And we go see the old people at the nursing home. I take a little break at that point in time, and then I do have a buddy in Lexington, and we play some Halo together. And then at night, come home, and we just went for a walk, and we have the energy to do that. There aren't a lot of people our age.
Well, and we still went for a walk, and a lot of people would still be lying in bed after surgeries.
Yeah.
So, we were walking the week of.
Well, when I had my hernia repair, this is the thing. You recover so much faster.
if you get up and move. But people, they're hurting, and or you don't want to move, but you have to move. So like I made myself get up like 3 or 4 times, and I would walk laps around the kitchen, and it hurt like mad when I would first stand up. But the more I walked, the better I'd feel, and we just kept doing that. But I think I think a lot of people just live in their disease or the process that they're in, and they become it. Like they become their diabetes, or they become their irritable bowel, or they become whatever it is, and then that's all they talk about. And I think getting out of it, or like pushing through, getting like it's easy, especially if you're hurting, to just live there, but you can't live there. Like it's you like I didn't take pain medicine. I took it until I was able to tolerate the pain, and then I took a Tylenol.
Yeah, but that was only 3 days.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that people
but
don't
you have
understand.
to make yourself, and it's not easy, and you have it's like lifting weights. Like you have to push through it. Like you have to dig deep and go through a little pain, and then just keep moving through it. But the moving through it, you grow stronger through the struggle, and you just keep telling yourself that this is what you're going to do. Now, am I back up to moving as much as I was moving before? No, but I'm back up to baseline activity on my Aura ring. I may not be doing the line dancing or going an extra mile every day, but I'm still up to baseline.
Yeah. And so recovery, that's the other thing about this, is when you don't have all the inflammation in your body, you recover. I had a hernia repair several years ago, and I was down Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and back to work on Monday. No pain kit, no pain pills, no nothing.
I don't think you ever took one.
I
think you may have taken one at the hospital, because I asked him to give you a Zofran and a pain pill, and I picked it up, and I don't think you ever took another one.
Now, when I had kidney stones, I did take that. That was a whole different. That's a whole different level of pain.
I mean, there are levels of pain, I would have to say. And when we talk about recovery, I think it's whether you're recovering from a hard workout, or you're recovering from a surgery, or you're recovering from an illness. It's all the same. But I mean, I think this surgery, which I had a complication, it was probably worse than childbirth. So I'm going to say that's basically about what your kidney stone was. But
a funny story
it's
about
easy
that.
to lay in bed. I guess it's easy to lay in bed and sleep it away, but that's not healthy for you.
Self-diagnosis, being a doctor, is absolutely the dumbest thing for self-diagnosis. So when I had my kidney stone, here's a humorous story I'll tell on myself. It was on the right side. I was taking 10,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. It was too low, and I wasn't thinking about it being a or fat soluble vitamin, so it started to accumulate. So then I start to get this pain on the right side, and I'm like, that's either my appendix or a kidney stone. And she came home. She was working at that point in time for the hospital. And she comes home and she's like, well, do I need to take you anywhere? And I was like, I'm just going to kind of tough it out here for a while. And then the pain hit again, and I came out, and I was like, yeah, we probably...
1 hour after I had fallen asleep from like a 14-hour night shift.
I was like, yeah, you should probably take me to the hospital, because I need to get this checked out and see if it's the appendix, because if it's the appendix, it's got to come out. If it's a kidney stone, well, it's
got to come out.
Yeah, the time will tell on that one. So we're driving, and I am all over the car. I'm sitting up in the seat, turning around.
Run the red light.
Oh yeah.
Don't stop at the stop signs.
We get all the way to Highway 50, and I'm just dying. And she stops at the stoplight, and I turn around. I'm like, why are we stopped? And I look, and Highway 50 is empty. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, well, I'm just waiting for the light. I was like, screw the light. I'll pay the bill. You just run that. Get me in there. We got to figure this out because this sucks. And so we got in there, and then they quickly took, got me into the emergency room. They got me going. And then the lady pulls out a harpoon to give me shots. I hate needles. I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to needles. It's not even funny. But she pulls out this just looked like a whaling needle to me. And
it was an 18 gauge.
Yeah.
If you were going to surgery, they'd like it. But...
Yeah. So they did that, pumped me full of some Demerol. Was it Demerol?
Demerol, Zofran, and sent you off to an MRI.
Yeah. Once the Demerol.
It wasn't Demerol.
What is it?
It was Dilaudid. You got Dilaudid and Zofran, and you went off to the MRI machine.
Well, came out that I had, a couple stones. They would pass, caught them in a little strainer, have decreased the dose of vitamin D, and have never had another one. I still take vitamin D, but I take it at a very low dose. That was the remnant of the other one.
Yeah, you must have passed it by yourself. You knew what it was, so we didn't have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I passed the second one. It was on the left side, and I was throwing up every 15 minutes. It was like clockwork. Gracie's like, are you going to throw up again? And I'm like, yep, guess so. So I came out of it, though, fixed what was causing the buildup, and that was basically, and that's the problem with knowledge. You want to fix things fast, especially on yourself. And I went a little too fast, and my system couldn't clear the vitamin D. A, D, E, and K. Those are the ones that are fat soluble, and you got to be careful with those.
So you did that with supplementation.
Yes.
But for a lot of people that get kidney stones, you either make two kinds. You either make it like a calcium or the uric acid. So you get those from like tannins or teas and calcium like milk. So, but it's usually related to diet issue.
Yep.
So for people that have issues with kidney stones,
frequent kidney stones,
you need to look at your diet. A lot of times it's diet related.
Yep, and get checked out. I mean, that is the easiest thing, and it sure beats peeing gravel, because as a guy, that's not fun. And I have known some manly men, and the kidney stones will bring them to their knees.
Although I had a patient that passed a cockabur right before I was sending him to surgery. Literally looked like a cockabur. It was huge and considered unpassable, and the little guy didn't even wince.
He must have been severely drugged up, because But I know people that go to get the lithotripsy, and and since I am such a wuss and I don't like needles and stuff, this is why I spend my money on the tests, and I get myself tested quite regularly on things to see what I need to address. So we are doctors that walk the walk, and she is a nurse that walks the walk. So it's not a do as I say, not as I do. We do it.
Well, and we were on the subject of recovery. And for a lot of people, they work out and they take a lot of anti-inflammatories or Tylenol or ibuprofen or things like that to help, because they've worked themselves out too hard and it hurts. So, but instead of doing that, there's all kinds of other things you can do, like ice baths.
Yeah, we got a new one coming.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of the old one.
And we loved it. I loved it. But you needed to add the ice. So I don't have time to drive down and get ice every day. So we bought one with a chiller.
Yep.
But like, these are things that help with recovery, like these different things.
In the wintertime, it was great because it already had ice in it.
Yeah, you could just go get in it. But we loved it. And I think that's going to be a big help with recovery here shortly.
Our garage is becoming our wellness studio
Our
for
health spa,
us.
our personal spa.
Yeah, we've got our red light sauna in there, the chillers going in there, our bicycles are in there.
Well, not only when you think about recovering, you can do a whole lot for yourself. If you know you're having surgery, you can have an amazing surgeon, and they can do everything spot on, and you can still have complications. But a lot of times it's related to your health going in or what you do when you come out. So make sure that you're the healthiest you can be. Take your vitamins, decrease your sugars, and then don't lie in that. Oh my gosh, I've had surgery. I have to lie here in bed for weeks on end. You have to make yourself get up and move. It moves the fluid. It gets rid of swelling. It's so good. You just have to make yourself do it, and don't rely on pain medicine.
No,
because it slows down your system. It slows down your bowels. If you can eat as much goodness as you want, and if your bowel seize up, you're miserable. So you have to move. Even if it hurts, you have to move.
And so, on that note, golly, what do we have now? 20 active functional medicine patients, I think, right now. We have some graduating, so we'll have some spots open up here pretty soon. But they all say the same thing about recovering. And then everybody falls off the wagon. So it's not about perfection. It's about doing just good 80 to 90, 80% of the time. And then they figure out, oh, hey, our one of our diabetic people fell off the wagon. Blood sugars went back up to 300. And I was talking to him, and we looked at the initial stuff that we did. And I was like, are you eating bread? Well, yeah, I eat bread. And I was like, you're not supposed to be eating bread. He shows all the classic signs for gluten sensitivities, and he cut out the bread. And it was 3 days later, I got a text from them and like, oh my God, we feel so much better. And thank you. And they're both, the husband and the wife, are functional medicine patients. And it's okay to fall off the wagon.
You just have to restart.
Yeah. You just get back up, brush yourself off. It's like crashing your bicycle. You just pick yourself back up and move on, and I like to eat stupid stuff at times. I actually had a beer, a few days ago.
Yeah, we just know we pay for it.
Yeah.
Treats.
And then I haven't had anything since. It's just you let your body catch up. You start to figure out about how much crap you can do to your body. And there's like sections. I'm healing. I am not healing, but I'm not getting worse. And I'm actively hurting myself. And so you learn how to manipulate those things.
It's a balance.
Yep.
If you need it. So for me, it's corn chip.
Yeah.
I haven't had corn chips or corn in general because I'm red on sensitivity to corn. And so I probably went months and months without corn chips, haven't I? Actually, it was
and you've
summer.
Healed your gut up.
It was late summer, early fall last year. And so we went to a wonderful place, and they had these amazing tortilla chips.
We don't get paid for this one. Bakersfield in Indianapolis.
It's really good.
Fabulous little street tacos and great appetizers.
And we see
they make their margaritas from scratch.
Yeah.
We split one.
Oh, I have a little sip and then I give him the rest, but they're really good. But I had taco chips, and the first time we went to a concert, and every time 3 times before we actually made it to the concert at the right day. So, which is great because we ended up having date nights and they were just impromptu date nights because there was no concert. But so we had taco chips, and then we realized that we were a day early. So we went back and we had a do-over. And the first night it was okay. The taco chips did not bother me. But the second night, my hand swelled up. But I knew going in that I should not be eating those. but I was able to absorb the hit the first time, and I just couldn't hit it
too much in the second.
But it was okay. You learn, you start over.
I'm laughing at myself because I looked so forward to. We went and saw the Steve Vai and Joe Satriani concert. If you love guitar,
they were fabulous.
They did a fabulous job. And so I got the month before the concert, the little ticket place said, "Hey, are you ready for your concert?" And I was like, "Oh crap, the concert's this weekend, hun. We get, blah blah blah, and let's change everything a month early."
You came during the week, so we went up during the middle of the week.
Yeah, we took off on a Thursday, and we show up, and it was a comedian, and I'm like, "Where's the concert? Why is Brad what's his face up there?" and so she goes, "Are you on the right day?" And so I wasn't real indignant, but in my head I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm on the right day. Who's the idiot that shows up on the wrong day?" And I pull up my phone and I go, "Look, see what the ticket says?"
It was April 21st, but I was like, April 21st, babe, it's March 21st.
Strike one. And then I didn't look. I still didn't look. I just knew. I thought the 20th, and I didn't look. And I was like, "Oh, hey, we got a concert," because I like to pick concerts on Saturdays, because that way we can sleep in late on Sunday and just recover. And so this one happened to be on a Sunday, so we showed up a month early.
A day early.
We showed up a day early, and then we showed up on time.
And then we were leaving. He's like, "I'm just not coming back up here tomorrow night." And I'm like, "Well, why not? We bought the tickets and we were supposed to be watching this." I'm glad we went because it was a great concert.
Yes, it was. So, and you can do stupid stuff like that and live to tell about it. Being in our 50s, we are all about living life. That's why I'm getting my pilot's license, and we're going to fly around and expand. We'd like to go 3 to 4 hours. We'll drive 3 hours, but anything over 3, we like to fly. And it just takes so much time in the airports and stress. And then you got to get up early. And when you get up early, then you want to eat stupid stuff. I'm an overeater and I'm a stress eater. And I know this about myself. So when we're getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go, I'm going to wake up and I want stupid stuff. And we're going to go through the airport and there's going to be all kinds of stupid stuff in there that I want. And that's knowing yourself. And so how do I set my life up to cater to my weaknesses so that I don't fall prey to them?
Go on the red eye so nothing's open.
Yeah, that does.
And you have a wife that says, "Don't look."
That works sometimes. And then, but now, hey, you have your pilot's license. You get up, you go, you fly there, and you're just there. I was thinking of the doctor that did my plane physical, and so pilot physical. And there's 3 classes. There's a 3, a 2, and a 1. 3 is for general aviation. Basically, you don't need anything. You're going to fly small planes, and that's it. And everybody that you see flying around at least has the class 3. And so I'm getting mine, and the guy looks at me and he goes, "Are you going for your class 3 or your class 2? And I just went, "I'm just going for my class 3. He goes, "You qualify for your class 2, so I'm going to give you a class 2. I take no medications. I don't have high blood pressure. My resting heart rate ranges between 38 and 42. It's like I have a runner's heart, but I don't really run anymore." And he was really, impressed. I do struggle with my weight. I have the thrifty genetics. And if I sit around and watch TV and play video games, I get fat. So I think we've taken up enough of your time. We really appreciate you guys being with us.
Just remember to move.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just
move.
Doesn't matter how
don't
fast.
Have to go to the gym.
Doesn't matter how far. Just move.
You start a little bit at a time and just add time. So it's worth it. It's worth the sweat. It's worth the pain, because otherwise you're on a couch and you're watching life happen.
Well, yeah, and
Oh,
if you don't, what?
just take a moment here. At the concert, they were talking, and they were talking about Steve Vai and how he doesn't drink and he takes care of himself, and Joe Satriani.
These were dudes in their 60s,
One
middle
was
60s.
one was 67, one is 64, and they moved
better than a 20-year-old.
Stop.
And they had their guitars went down to the ground and back up and slow and controlled. They looked as Joe Satriani.
Yeah, 67.
I thought he was a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
He really looked at that. Yeah. His skin looked great. They were fit. They looked fit.
Yep. They don't drink. They don't party. They have a good time. But, and those are the secrets. Just because you live in Bartholomew County, Jennings County, Ripley County, Decatur County, shoot, doesn't matter where you live. We have patients all over the world. You don't have to suffer the norm. And when I say that, that is right now the norm is being fat, sick, and tired, and you don't have to be that.
And if you have to go in to get a little repair or something, don't live there. Don't live there. So I went to get a spinal fusion, and then I ended up having a complication. Nothing that I had caused, but
from an auto accident.
Yeah.
It happened to you.
But we didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But don't live there. Like, I could have. It's so easy to just stay on the couch and just fall into that. Like, I did it because I wanted to ride my bicycle. My leg was giving out and being weak. And I still want to hike, and I want to be living my best life when I'm in my 80s and 90s. But am I physically fit? No. Am I weak? Yes, because I was compensating so much. Am I eager? Absolutely. So the second I get my discharge and approval to go, I'll be on that bicycle, even if I'm just going around one country square, and then 2, and then 3. I'll build back up to 50 miles, because we would ride 50 miles. But you have to start somewhere, and it's really as simple as putting one foot in front of the other from the front door to the back door of your house over and over again.
Just know you're worth it.
Yeah. Go outside, walk around your house.
You get one shot at this. You might as well make it the best shot you can take.
Well, and if I learned anything from my surgery, so I had a bladder issue where they cut through my bladder. It had seized up against my rectus muscles, and I had a catheter for a little over a week, which, I tried to be funny about it and was like, okay, well, I always wanted to pee standing up. But I thought about that after a few days when I was really like deep in thought about this whole thing. Like, there's people that have to have this to survive.
Yep.
And I never want to be that person. It was very humbling. And I knew right then and there, I was going to take care of this body and get it back in as best shape as I could to be strong, because I did not want to be living in a bed or with things attached to me or stuck inside somewhere.
So I'll tell one last story. My father, who passed away a couple of years ago, we're talking about the catheters and stuff like that. He had quintuple bypass surgery about 10, 15 years ago, and they replaced a heart valve. And so he's in there, and they have him catheterized, and they come in to take the catheter out.
He must have been a new nurse without a mentor.
And so she grabs the rope or the hose and pulls, and Dad's like, oh! And he's like, is that supposed to be like that? And she goes, well, I'll just have to pull a little harder. And so she pulls again, and Dad's like, oh. So then, if anybody listening there, we have several people on here. If anybody knows my dad, he looks at her and he goes, "You get one more shot at this, and then we're done." She pulls this thing out, forgot to deflate the donut.
Anybody that's medical knows, but anybody that is not, that is filled with 10 mils of fluid to make a little balloon that floats in your bladder, and it's meant to be deflated before it's removed.
Well, the funniest thing about that is Dad's retelling of the story. Every time somebody's going to go in and have a nurse, he goes, "I hope you don't get that she bear I got." Well, thank you, and you have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week.